Welcome to your school's kickoff of World Vision's Ignite. My name is John Michael Hinton, and I am so excited about the journey that God has for you. A little bit about me. I am a magician, a speaker, and a ginger. What that means for you guys is that every day I'm going to be doing an illusion, a trick, and then setting up the day's theme. Here, let me show you something. This is more of a life hack than a trick, if you will, but whoa, that wasn't it. Let me see. Yes, here you go. So I travel all over the place, and wherever I travel, I always carry a little bit of cash with me. Can you guys see what that is? It's a good old $1 bill. In fact, I don't just have $1, but I have $1, $2, $3, $4. Now what? That's enough to buy something at Starbucks, right? Well, something really small. But if you're like me, that's all you need, because watch very carefully. Because now look, that is 100, 200, 300, $400. So today what we're talking about is, what is your vision for your life? Some of you are like, oh, I've got this. I know where I'm going to college. I know when I'm going to get married. I know what sort of career I'm going to have. I know where I'm going to live. Some of you are going, wait, did he just turn ones into $100 bills? And now he's asking me, what about my life? Some of you are thinking, man, my vision for my life right now is tacos. And I am with you. No, but seriously, what is your vision for your life? What is it? Maybe another way to put it. How are people going to remember you? When you leave high school, what are people going to say? This guy, this girl, this is what they were about. Some people, they're all about the bling. They're all about the money. They're all about the toys. A lot of people are all about the status. Do they have a corner office? Do they have X amount of followers on the hot social media right now? Some people are all about their looks, then they're gym rats. For me, I want to be known as a friend. I want to be known as someone who is there for his friends. Somebody who's loving, who's caring, somebody who's real, somebody who is passionate about their faith in God. So I want you to really dive into the path today. Try to figure out, what is your vision for your life?
Thank you, John Michael. My name is Lori Bay, and I'm part of the World Vision Ignite team. I am thrilled to be with you in this really important moment. Your school is starting something new, and you are right in the middle of it. Today, we're going to talk about your vision for your life. Oh, that's a big question, right? Okay, don't let me get ahead of myself. First, I want you to know that you've joined a movement across America, a movement with deep purpose. And as you're listening to me now, know that other students at other Christian schools across America are starting their own journey with Ignite. This is designed for students like you to not only inspire you, but to teach you, to introduce you to new people, new ideas, and to motivate you to act. If you've ever had a desire to live life with purpose, a desire to have an impact on those around you, well, you're in luck. World Vision Ignite will connect you with new friends across the world and equip you to become a global leader with a biblical worldview. What does that mean? Well, being a global leader means that we are not helpless. Far from it. Through Christ, you have everything you need right now to live your best life. Instead of having the world dictate what we're all about, we can lead out and do it with purpose. So instead of simply enduring hardship and struggle, instead of only feeling helpless, we can do something about our concerns, about the things that break our hearts. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." When our lives are transformed by God, when we follow God, we have confidence to act, even in uncertain times like this. With Ignite, we'll teach you a few facts about poverty, and you'll learn about injustice in the world. But we're thrilled that we can help you solve problems. You'll learn how to respond to the pain you might see in your community, our country, or the larger world. World Vision believes that all are image bearers of God. You have intrinsic worth. You have value. And we believe not only do you have the value, we know that the lives of the kids overseas who are living in poverty have enormous value too. And through God's great providence, our lives will intersect with theirs. Through Ignite, you'll be part of the solution. Through Ignite, you'll live out your faith and help others see what God is all about, right next door and across the world. I know that my life has had significant peaks and valleys, significant challenges, and also many times of joy. But I'm going to introduce you to someone who's had a life story like no other. Our speaker today had one of the most difficult beginnings of his life. At the age of 6, he was taken at gunpoint to be a child soldier. Where he eventually ended up is only something God could orchestrate. Lopez Limón is one of US's best Olympic athletes. He's a big fan of Ignite, and he's a hero here in the US and in his birth country of South Sudan. Lopez talked with my friend Steve Haas from World Vision about his story.
Some of the world's finest track and field athletes are here at an intra-squad track meet in Portland, Oregon. Olympic medalists, national record holders, All-Americans, the men and women here, each have come with their own stories, dreams. These are tenacious people. But for all those gathered on this late summer evening, perhaps no one here has endured more, has overcome as much as Lopez Limón.
Lopez Limón. Lopez Limón is champion in 2019.
Can Limón do the double? The 10,000 and 5,000, now the sprint's on. Limon's not letting Chalimo get away. There's a double on the line. I think Lopez Limón might do it. He is. He gets the double. The first to win the 5,000, 10,000 double since Galen Rupp 7 years ago.
I was born in South Sudan in a small village of Kemoton. I was born in a war. My parents taught me that if I go play with the other kids out in the forest or with the neighbors or something like that, you hear like the plane come in, you run into the dish because that plane will drop some bombs.
Lopez was born in South Sudan and would help his parents around their farm where he lived with his brothers and sisters in a small agricultural community. Every Sunday, his whole village would gather in their best clothes for church. But when Lopez was 6 years old, he was confronted by a devastating series of events that would alter the trajectory of his life forever.
We woke up early in the morning. It was a beautiful day. It was a sunny day, and we walked to our church, which is like open under the tree. And all of a sudden, we see the truck coming in, and it's just like many trucks, about 6 or something. I was also like looking for my mom, and my mom came out and grabbed me, and so the soldiers came in, and we said, we want all the kids out, away from their parents right now. And so I remember this guy came in, and like their eyes are red, and just like it's very tall, very big guy, reached over and grabbed me and ripped me from my mom, like it's like I was a feather, And she got up, she was like, no, not my son, not him, please don't. And I was dragged away from her, and she was coming in and running. I was thrown into that truck like a bag of grain. Like my life basically meant nothing to them.
His life might have meant nothing to the soldiers, but even as a child, Lopez knew he wanted to live. He knew his life was meant for more. The soldiers trucked Lopez and other young boys from his village to a makeshift prison camp miles away, and with no familiar markers of the life that he had known, he didn't know what was happening. Disoriented in that uncertainty, Lopez wondered if he did something wrong. The strongest boys were trained as soldiers, but the smallest boys, unable to carry heavy weapons to perform difficult tasks, were left to starve. And that included Lopez.
So you just imagine, you are living in a darkness. You don't know if it's the day or the night, and the only thing that you have to witness and see is kids going to sleep and never wake up. And at 6 years old, seeing that kid going to sleep and never wake up, to me, it's like, I didn't even know what that is.
One night, 3 older boys snuck into the hut in which Lopez was being kept. They said they knew his older brother and that they would help him escape and return to his family. They were more like three angels, Lopez would later recall. Passing through a hole in the fence that garrisoned their stockade, Lopez snuck out with these mysterious saviors. However, getting out of the camp was only the first challenge of a long journey.
As a kid, you don't know where the direction, because everything kind of like the same. Grassland, savanna, like everything, plains, it's just, sometimes everything like the north becomes south. They have a brilliant idea, these boys. 14 years old, 13 years old. They're like, we're gonna run until when we are tired, we go outside where the grass is, because we are making the trail. Maybe the bad guys are gonna follow our trail where the grass, and then they might find us.
If there was one thing Lopez was good at, it's running. Even though he hadn't eaten, even though he was exhausted, he kept going, believing something good was ahead.
And we kept going and going, running and running, and then we get to the, my feet was completely like, it was swollen and, bleeding and everywhere, and we sat down. We just literally, one thing is just like, I sat down, I was like, I cannot go anymore. That was a moment I basically, I did everything I can, and I gave up. All of us, we sat down, 4 of us. And then all of a sudden we see the soldiers coming in. And they were surrounding us, the weapons were like down, like this, were like in a sling. And they pick us up. They talk in a different language. They gave us some water in the thing, and then they brought us to the UN registration thing.
In escaping near death and making their way across inhospitable terrain, this small gang of 4 boys joined the thousands today collectively known as the Lost Boys of Sudan. Children whose homes became untenable either due to violence, poverty, or an injustice, and journeyed on foot to a safer place. Lopez and his 3 angels ran for 4 days and approximately 100 miles across the African savanna. Disoriented, their journey took them to the Kenyan border rather than into their intended homes. And though safety could now be found in a refugee camp, nothing would come easy for Lopez. With never enough to eat, extra meals besides the single daily supplement would come by picking through the garbage thrown out by the United Nations workers. This is where Lopez would call home. But he kept running, believing his life had purpose and that greater things were ahead.
God is always with us, and when I wake up early in the morning and I have a breath and I'm strong and I'm happy or something like that, God woke me up that day, and I said, thank you, God, I'm awake. Because there are so many other kids could not be able to be awake because disease, sickness, or anything can happen overnight. God, if you want me to, if you try to take me now, hey, it's up to you. You can take me. But right now, let me just help. Do everything I can to help these kids I live with.
As a teenager, Lopez was one of the fortunate ones from the refugee camp who had the chance to emigrate to America. That was before an embargo on such a practice was put in place. Lopez entered the United States knowing little English, its culture, or whether he would ever see his old life again. But still he trusted God. Lopez looked ahead.
When you decide to cross a river and you don't know what is in the river, there's so many things. There's snakes, rocks, crocodiles, but you decided to cross the river because you know at the other side of the river is prosperity. So you put the faith in front that no matter what is underneath that water, the moving water, and you look back, you're like, all right, that was a great risk, but I did not cross that river by myself. God parted that river for you to cross.
It's true that each of us faces challenges and uncertainty, but Lopez is evidence that we can overcome anything with God's help. Lopez believes in you. He believes in the next generation. He believes that with God, we can do all things in Christ who gives us strength, living into our potential.
as young leaders right now, because I'm talking to you as a young leader, all the high schoolers right now, that like, what can you do at this particular moment to shape this situation to be a positive situation? We need to change the negative to the positive by moving in the right direction.
I appreciate Lopez sharing, and I hope you enjoyed it too. It is a great reminder for me that God cared for Lopez, even when Lopez was facing hardship. And like Lopez, God cares about you. You have a purpose that is not defined by the world, and you are part of God's unfolding story. It's my joy to be with you as you are embarking on this journey today. God bless you.